All right, welcome AP Lang Gang to day 2, distance learning. Here we go, sharing my screen with you. Okay, you can see you have 2 things posted on Google Classroom today. One is an attendance question, because we're gonna add this separate little component. It's a little bit easier than the actual class assignment. And so this attendance question is now gonna count as like you showing up to class. Why is my internet connection unstable? What the heck? Okay, and then the separate assignment is like your actual work from class. So please, please, please make sure to, at the very minimum, complete the attendance question so it indicates that you showed up to class for the day. Now, for a positive note, guys, I was super impressed. I had 80% or more of students in each class turn in the assignment for me today, and I think that's pretty freaking awesome for day 1. So, great work, and special shout out to period 2. They had actually the highest turn-in rate. Only a few didn't turn it in, so awesome job. You like my little Office meme here? If anyone's an Office fan, you might remember this part. Mark just canceled overhead.
Yeah.
So fitting. Okay. So today for class, you will need both your document from yesterday that you already turned in. Don't unsubmit it from yesterday. Just open it up because you need those notes you took on the 4 sources to help you write your paragraph today. And then today you just have that separate document, which is where you'll actually type the paragraph. Woohoo!
We didn't have to write the paragraph yesterday.
No.
I literally stayed up writing the paragraph.
Well, where did you write it even? Did you just
under the notes?
Oh my gosh, you're so freaking awesome. Then guess what you get to do today? Just like edit it and chill.
I get to chill.
What an easy day. So I'm actually gonna, I have a little lecture on effectively writing the paragraph so you can use it to kind of help you revise and it before you're done. I wanted to, I'm not gonna re-go over all these slides, but I did wanna let you guys know, based on conversations with people I had yesterday, I made a few changes to the schedule I'll be doing every day. So a lot of you said that you were kind of overwhelmed that everybody's posting at 9. So it's totally easy for me to post an hour earlier. So I'll have your assignment up by 8. That being said, I still want to keep the actual class at 9 so that people can sleep in a little bit and still attend. But it's just like work will be up at 8, then class will be at 9. And then that other addition, as you guys can see, is you're going to have 2 separate things for each class period. One is like your actual assignment for class, and one is going to be a separate attendance question. And the idea is I'm making that attendance question like a lot easier. It's just like type a sentence to answer the question. And that's just your check that you showed up, because I did have several people yesterday who I know like were attending, didn't necessarily do the assignment. So just make sure to, at the very minimum, answer that attendance question. We don't want to attend the school, or we don't want to extend the school year. So do your attendance.
I'm in both right now.
Huh? Oh my gosh, Alyssa, I love the sunglasses. I love it. Oh my gosh, Sochi's here. I just saw Sochi. Hi, Sochi. Okay, so these slides are just the same from the previous day. So again, I'm not going to reread them, but you can just make sure you're on track with reading your book. Okay, yesterday we were working.
Oh, why didn't I turn my assignment in? Because I didn't know I had one. I'm sorry about that.
For assignment?
I think I was working on it right. I'm working on today's right now.
Yeah, you already did yesterday's though. Today's isn't due till 11:59.
Yeah.
So let's talk about today's assignment and connect it to yesterday. So yesterday, what you should have done was the first 2 steps. You should have analyzed the synthesis prompt and read and marked the sources. So that was yesterday. So the prompt was, what's the most essential course of action to solve the US's problems that have been caused by the outbreak? So it's not just like solving the problem of the outbreak itself, but anything that's happened because of it. So you read 4 sources. Your first source from the Washington Post was about the idea of social distancing and having to do that in order to flatten the curve or the spread. of the disease, of the virus. The second article you read was from the New York Times about the drive-in test centers. So that was all about increasing the number of people that actually get tested. If we add more of these like drive-in test centers, then we can increase the number of people who are tested, which will help us kind of get a better handle on things. The third source you read from Politico was about the economic stimulus plan. We need to make sure we're giving money to people or businesses that are struggling at this time so that the economy doesn't fall apart. And then the last source you read was just a comparison to other countries. And ultimately what that kind of showed you was that the US is pretty behind in terms of the number of tests that are happening. So now that you've read the 4 sources, now today your task is to consider what's your opinion on the question. So this does become your opinion, your argument. The sources are simply the evidence you're going to use to support it. Okay? Any questions so far? No question. Come on, you guys. You know Miss Miller loves questions still, even virtually. Okay. So then today you're doing those steps in green. You're creating your thesis and a mini outline. You don't really need to do a full mini outline when it's just a paragraph, but I'll kind of show you what that looks like. Then you're going to write your paragraph and then just reread over it. Make sure it's, you know, as perfect as it can be. So I'm going to help you through those steps of how to craft your thesis and write a good paragraph. So for your thesis here, you've got 3 options. You can go really straightforward and simple and just make a 1-point thesis. The most critical step the government needs to take first is do this. Okay, that's very straightforward. Just kind of fill in the blank there, and then your paragraph will support it. You could, if you want to get a little more advanced, do a counterclaim thesis. So while many Americans think blank is the most important strategy to focus on, blank is actually more important because blank. So this gives you an opportunity to, within your paragraph and synthesizing the sources, refute other arguments and then prove your own argument. So it just, that one is a little more advanced, plus it might give you the opportunity to more easily incorporate 2 different sources. Last but not least, because you know we always save the best for last, you can create a nuance or a qualified argument here. So that's saying like a certain thing is the most essential course of action for accomplishing one thing, but blank also needs to happen just as urgently in order to accomplish something else. So this way you're kind of acknowledging 2 sides. There's not just one thing that needs to be done. Multiple things are equally as important, and that's showing the nuance or the subtlety in that. So if you are a more advanced writer, I definitely suggest the nuanced thesis statement because that's going to get you the sophistication in your argument. Okay, just make sure that if you're showing multiple sides, you have to back up multiple sides. Okay, I'm going to let my dogs out real quick and think if you have any questions on coming up with a thesis.
Hey, do you guys know how to do the Zoom thing on the Chromebook?
It has to be in the browser. You can't download it.
Let me try.
Yeah, there's a smaller option beneath the like the Chrome extension where you can just join in browser.
Okay, let me.
Do any of you guys know Mr. Fox streams?
I have no
Fox
idea.
is
Sorry.
at 9:30. Is that what you're just asking?
Okay.
Does anybody have thesis questions? Oh, Angel, what's up? Ryan, what's up?
You're going to be posting in the classroom, right?
They're already posted. So every day, everything will be posted at 8, and then the live class will be at 9. So this is already up.
Alex, you look so comfy.
Yeah. It's freezing in my house.
I'm weak.
Oh.
All right, guys. So moving it right along, just, you know, for people who want to go see Fox or Secor at 9:30. So once you have your thesis, again, you're just making like a mini outline. Let me be very, very clear. This is not one outline. These are 3 different outlines because you're only writing a paragraph. So you've got, like, let's say you're doing a 1-point thesis. Then all you have to do is which of the 2 different sources are you going to use to back up your thesis. So you only need to find 2 pieces of evidence. You just need to make sure they're from 2 different sources. Okay. The second example, the counterclaim thesis. Okay, well, I did 3 sources in that one because you might want to refute one source and then back it up with 2 other sources. Again, you don't have to use 3 sources. 2 is your minimum. But 3 might make your argument a little bit stronger, a little bit more effective. I just want to keep you guys at that AP level. Okay, 2 minimum, 3 or 4 is even better. Okay, and then last but not least, your nuance thesis. Remember, since a nuance thesis has 2 sides to it, you need to make sure you're showing, okay, source A is going to prove one of my sides, and then this source is going to prove the other side. Okay, maybe again, you have 3 sources to make it a little more impactful. Okay. All right, so what is your minimum number of sources you need to use?
2.
2. Excellent. Okay, so make sure it's 2 different ones, but essentially before you write your paragraph, you just want to make sure you have your thesis in mind and which of the 2 pieces of evidence are you going to use. All right, once you are ready to write, I just want to emphasize, which is why it's in all caps, your argument is the focus of your paragraph. The sources are your evidence only. So don't summarize the sources, don't talk too much about the sources, focus on your opinion. So commentary, people, it's all about expanding on the evidence, connecting back to your overall thesis, and elaborating on why the evidence matters or how it will be significant.
I have a question, Miss Ma'am.
Yeah, of
In
course.
regards, it's a synthesis, so we have to use the reasons that they use. We can't just say the best way to stop the coronavirus is move to green weather, right?
You have to use the sources as the evidence to support your argument. So
Okay, but our claim could be original. Like it doesn't
yeah,
have to be
your
one of
claim
our
should
claims.
be original. It should be your own and nobody else's. And
That sounds good.
technically, if your claim had nothing to do with any of the sources, what you would want to do is use the sources to kind of refute why that's not as important as your own opinion.
Yeah, sounds good.
But you have to use 2 of the sources to show that you've synthesized that.
Hey guys, check out who's here. He's my girl.
Guys, with commentary, because this is the biggest issue that students have, just make sure you're not just repeating what the evidence already says. You need to be saying something more than the evidence. So I'm going to give you a quick example. So from source B, there was this statistic that many people might want to use as evidence. So in the United States, only about 25,000 people have been tested as of March 11, but South Korea was able to test that many people in a day, and 274,000 people so far, even though they had their first case around the same time. Okay, so it would be really bad commentary for me to just say way more people in South Korea have been tested than in the United States, since they have drive-in test centers. Okay, that's bad commentary because literally that's what the evidence already shows. You don't need to say it if the evidence is already saying it. Okay, so what's wrong with this? What's missing? Well, you need to tie it back to your overall argument. You need to expand on it more, develop your own opinions more. So something that's going to look a little bit better, same exact evidence, okay? But if I say something more that's my own opinion, tying it back to my argument of why this is the most essential step. So if more states can follow along with New York, implementing these drive-in test centers, then we can catch up to other countries in terms of the number of people tested for the virus. As more people are tested, we can get a better handle on the problem because those people can be sure to quarantine, to not spread to others, and they can receive proper treatment sooner. So I'm going beyond the evidence, tying it back to my argument about why this is the most important step to take. Okay, so just make sure to use this as a model for good commentary. While we are at it, what the heck, I don't need to use that big long quote. Okay, I know this quote isn't like a lot shorter, but now by paraphrasing it, you can at least kind of cut it down a little bit. So notice how I shortened it from that to this. It's just in bigger font, so that's why it's the same number of lines. But according to the CDC, in the same amount of time, the US had tested 25,000 people compared to South Korea's 274,000. So paraphrasing is going to be really a lot more effective because you can trim down the number of words and only put the most important part of the evidence. Okay, so just use that as a model for paraphrasing. All right, last but certainly not least, some of you like to be free. but some of you like structure. So if you are one of those people that like to have a set structure, refer to our old friend, APEE. Oh my gosh, you can totes use APEE. Assert your thesis, prove with the source, explain how the evidence supports your thesis, elaborate on why it's significant, and then repeat with a different source. Prove, explain, elaborate. Okay. Now, if you like to be free, you absolutely don't need to use APEE. You're still asserting, you're still proving, because you got to have sources, you're still providing commentary that explains and elaborates, but it doesn't need to go in that order. And oftentimes, if it's more than 7 sentences, it's actually going to be a little bit stronger because it means you're developing your argument a little more in depth. Okay, so just know that either method is effective. If you like structure, use your structure. APEE works great. If you don't like that structure because you want to focus on your ideas, you can do that too. Okay. All right, what questions do you guys have for writing a really strong synthesis paragraph here?
I'm good.
Good. Oh my gosh. Jimena, how do you think your paragraph was then?
So I think I didn't actually take a side. I think I just talked about both. So I think I'm just gonna add a thesis to like make it about whatever I
oh my
agree on.
gosh, yes, you have to. You have to make sure the argument is the focus, and then the sources are just your evidence. Okay.
Yeah.
So good.
Ms. Miller, I have a question.
What's that, Nadia?
So you said 3 outlines. What did you mean by that?
No, they're not. I gave you 3 different outlines so you could see based on like which type of thesis you picked. Like if you're doing a 1-point thesis, then this would be your mini outline, right? If you're doing a counterclaim thesis, this would be your mini outline. So
yeah,
I just didn't want anyone thinking this was like, you have to do all of this. You don't have much of an outline here because you're only writing 1 paragraph. If you were writing a whole essay, then you would need a bigger outline, you know?
okay.
Okay? And I'm not checking your outline, your planning or anything. It's, if you go into the document itself, okay, all you're doing is typing your paragraph in that box below. This was just me breaking down those steps to make sure that your paragraph is really strong and effective and you're doing everything you need to do. Okay. Again, if I can emphasize anything, really focus on your commentary because that's where students struggle the most. So you utilize these 2 slides as an example of good versus bad commentary. Okay. All right, guys, anything else? Does anyone have any good ideas for our Spirit Day tomorrow?
What?
What should we wear? What should the theme be for tomorrow instead of sunglasses and hat?
What about stuffed animals?
Ooh, I love it. Stuffed animals.
Wait, so like we would dress as like a stuffed animal?
No, like we'd have our stuffed animals.
Yeah,
with us.
well,
okay.
let's do it just all in case you don't have stuffed animals. Then you
I'm
can
just
dress as animals.
Yeah.
Miller,
Yeah.
Jordan said in the chat that Stuco is posting Spirit Day on their Instagram account.
On
Oh yeah, that's next week.
This is for next,
that next week?
So if you guys, can you guys still see my screen?
Oh, she had it on deck. She was ready.
A shout out to Alex, she sent it. So Monday is dressing for the tropics, so like vacation. Tuesday, I'm so excited, guys, because I have the most ratty, nasty hair ever. So
Tangled is here.
my hair. Okay, I will rock Tuesday, you know. Wednesday, college shirt day. Thursday, animal print day, and then Friday.
That is my day.
I am a rep.
I don't what does Aladdin have anything to do with Friday?
I got my dance out. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it, and I definitely want to let you guys go to any other classes that you need to go to. So,
Sparky.
And you'll be back.
tomorrow we will. I like the animal theme for tomorrow. Like, bring your pet or your stuffed animal with you to class. That's fun. I'll have Jack sit in my lap tomorrow. Maybe we'll do that.
Miss Miller, and you're on from 1 to 2 again.
Yes, I will have
Okay.
office hours from 1 to 2. Okay. And then remember, tomorrow is going to be drop everything and read day. So we're just going to be reading our books. So I will
On
still
Zoom?
have,
Are
like,
we gonna do it on Zoom?
Huh?
We're gonna read on Zoom?
I'm gonna do a quick little intro to get everyone excited, but then yeah, it's just gonna be us. I'll sit here for 5 minutes reading my book while you guys read your books. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys, be productive today. Don't forget about that attendance question. Come to my office hours if you need help with your paragraph. I am here to help you for sure. So have a great day.
Thank you, Miss Mel. You too.
Thank you.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
Bye, Ms. Mel.